Guys, Craig here, product manager at Broker Engine. I wanted to walk you through quickly how we would manage items that are due later. So maybe it's you need some formal approval conditions or some settlement conditions, or there's documents you need at a certain part in the process. And obviously what you're trying to do here, number one, is ensure you don't forget those things you need later, such as building insurance or council approved plans and things like that. And secondly, you'd ideally like to forewarn the client up front, look, we're going to need these things later, such as building insurance. You can't do it now, but you're going to need building insurance at a later stage, or first homeowners grant, or a pre-settlement condition that a credit card's closed or something like that. I want to show you how we manage that inside of my practice. So inside of my practice, we would use Finance Vault, which is all part of Broker Engine, all built into Broker Engine. And it's a document collection portal. Now, one of the key things here, and there's other videos, of course, that go through how to use Finance Vault in particular, but this one I'm going to focus on those due later items. So what you can do is you can create your own stacks of documents, credit guides, identification, things like that. And you can add that to the request. So that's what I've done here. I've just added that, my normal stack of documents I need, payslips, ID, things like that. And what you'll notice down here is that in that template, it's got a couple of items there. One of the items is a contract to sale, and that's due at the prep for formal stage. So I'm just going for a pre-approval here. That's not due right now. It's going to be due at the stage. Once it's pre-approved, you move it into prep for formal because you've got a contract. It's going to sort of pop up as required. Same as building insurance. So building insurance I've got down here is not required until documents issued. Obviously, it'll vary if you're in Queensland. So that's my document stack, and you've got two items there that are due later. How does that present itself to the client? So once you publish that to the client gets a little email to say, hey, I need these documents. What I'm really keen to show you, though, is how that looks on the client side, both initially. So initially on the client side, here's your list of documents you need, and the client can just go through them and, upload their ID. If they're on their phone and it's responsive, they can take a photo and things like that, or convert it to PDF for you. But you can see we've got the items that are due now, and you've got the items that are due later. So we're sort of forewarning you down here that, look, we don't need the contract to sale now, we don't need building insurance now, but you are going to need it later. You can see other examples for that, potentially around, progress payment requests and things like that. What the client's going to do, of course, is upload their documents now, make comments if they need to, and with the deal's going to sort of move on. So let's presume the client's all done that and everything's been marked as approved. I'm just going to sort of approve all this like so. So they're all now approved, and maybe we'll archive those as well. So once archived, it sort of disappears from the client side, and the client would now see, if they come back in, would just now see these things as due later. So if they came back to check the portal, they'll see they're due later. But what happens, of course, is when the deal moves on to the next stage, let's say it's moved on to prep for formal, the client's going to get an email now that says, hey, there's a new item now required. One of those due later items is now required. They jump into the portal. Of course, now it's moved into due now. We need that contract of sale. It's not a perfect example, but it's sort of an example that I would use here for contract of sale. The better example would be using something like if you've got a pre-approval condition, an extra condition. Perhaps there was a particular condition, look at time of converting to formal approval, we're going to need a recent payslip. So you might even set up an outstanding template for a particular lender based on what they ask for. So maybe you need a recent payslip, and you can set that to be due at stage, prep for formal, and so on. So you can load up so our process would be is when the deal gets approved, we'd load up the conditions in the portal, set it for stage 5. Once the client sort of says, hey, they've signed a contract, move it into stage 5. The client gets an email with a link to all the things they now need to provide. Of course, they've already been advised of that upfront as well, about what things are going to be due now, what things are due later. Same thing would happen if we move the deal into, stage 11 now, which is mortgage docs issued. Again, that item for building insurance is now going to be prompted from the client. They're going to get an email to say, hey, we now need that building insurance. Can you upload it for me? It needs to note ANZ as the interested party. And again, it's automatically sent out that request without you having to do anything or remember to do anything. It's just as part of your initial template, it's sent out that particular request. You see how you could use that for, again, settlement conditions, pre-settlement conditions as part of your workflow as a loan's approved or pre-approved, load into the portal or create a particular stack, like a particular item for each lender if they have a particular sort of one. But again, you can create all your own templates. Outstanding request example is a good one. So serviceability calculator, pay slips, whatever. That's how we would use the client portal or Finance Vault to manage those documents that are required both upfront, but also required at a future stage. So the client's aware upfront, and you don't forget to ask those clients for those documents at the right time. That's Finance Vault. If you're interested in Finance Vault or Broker Engine or a demo, jump onto brokerengine.com.au.